You co-founded this company in 2006. What was your vision for Sorrento back then, and then how has it evolved over the last 14 or so years?
Oh yeah, so when we started in 2006, the biotech is quite a bit of funk, and there's no money, right? So we got the first money 2009, actually from multi-billionaire Dr. Phil Frost. He was the chairman of Teva, and we got the money when I have the vision to form the company, basically using an therapeutic antibody library we have, and to build a small business, let's say $100 million. And actually, Phil told me it could be much bigger. So I asked for $2 million and Phil gave me $5 million. So you can imagine Phil knows how to do big stuff. And we got the funding 2009, start the wet lab operation in end of 2009. And we built the library in 6 months, and we did not realize that library is one of the most potent, most productive library in the space. Therapeutic antibody is the biggest segment of the pharmaceutical business. And we have, Humira, one of the biggest product in the space, is from a human antibody library called the Cambridge Antibody Technology Library. And that's a $20 billion a year sales right now, as of today. And you have a Remicade as antibody. You can name all sorts. Now, the Merck Keytruda, as of today, is about a 14, 15 billion, and moving on could be one of the biggest antibody for oncology. So antibody is the rage, and in the biopharm space, antibody is the same. And we have, as of today, the largest antibody library in the space. And we put in about 100 plus important drug targets into it. So we have a few dozen potent antibody out of our library. So through the years, we build all of the technology and the products relates to antibody. For example, we got 2 antibody together, so we can targeting 2 different targets. That's called a bispecific antibody. Basically using antibody grabbing 2 different targets. And we have built it with adding a payload. So if you're adding a toxin payload, that become antibody drug conjugate. As recently, you can hear a lot of acquisition recently, that including Gilead bought $21 billion, paid $21 billion to Immunomedics for a product that was no sales, just FDA approved for metastatic breast cancer. And the Merck just did a deal, $2.4 billion to buying a small company with ADC too. So you see this very big movement in the antibody space. Of course, if you do adding a T cell as a payload, using the antibodies guiding on the T cell surface, it become into a CAR T space. Gilead bought Kite for 11.9 billion, and the Celgene bought Juno for $9-10 billion. That's the rage here. Is again as antibody. If you look at it further, if you can develop this stuff with a different delivery. If you look at all of the immune checkpoint inhibitors, which is big, PD-1, PD-L1, all these, they actually are working in the lymphatic system. And right now you do IV, majority of the drugs is washed it out, wasted, and the T cells in the lymphatic. So we acquired a technology from Kimberly-Clark actually for lymphatic delivery. So right now we are working with some of the most leading institute like a Mayo Clinic to using lymphatic delivery to do the immune checkpoint like a Keytruda type of molecule, PD-1, PD-L1. So that's the technology we built on through the years, and acquiring all these technology, all antibody based.